3:30 this afternoon. We received a call that is domestic disturbance in nature. We met one of the complaining parties away from the location of the incident. The incident is just down the street from where you're at right now. It is the 3500 block of Queta Street. The complaining party, the complaining person, reported, amongst other things, assaults going on at the house by a person that we'll identify here in a few minutes. Officers next approach after meeting that party complaining about this incident at that location. The next step is to basically proceed to the resident and find out and investigate what's going on. As they did so, they met another party in front of the yard, and whom again substantiated the call that there was a disturbance, maybe some assaults taking place in the home by the individual. So there again, the next step going on. Now they go to the door of the residence. They're doing their job. That is what we're supposed to do. A person who was a suspect of the incident met our officers at the door and shot our both officers as they stood there. Both officers suffered fatal wounds. They have both passed away as a result of this gunfire. Other officers whom were in the area were doing what we call basically a roll-by, checking in on the other officers that were effectively doing a call, who had gotten off at that location to do the call. Those officers see officers down. That was the first time we at McAllen PD knew that we had officers down. And what I'm trying to tell you about that, in that sense, is that the officers never had a chance to suspect deadly assault on them, much less death, that moment in time. So the officers that are now basically rolling by to check on the call proceed to disembark down the street and begin to make an approach to where the officers are down. At that point in time, the suspect now exits the home. He is behind a particular vehicle in front of the home. Officers order him to put his gun down. The individual at that point in time raises the gun and shoots himself and commits suicide in front of everybody. So the incident, from the standpoint of the extent of it, that is the whole extent of the incident. Our officers did not draw the weapons, did not fire, never stood a chance, never had a chance to, didn't suspect a reason to. The officers that were making the approach were instead surprised by the individual raising a gun to his bottom of his head here and shooting himself. We lost Officer Elmiro Garza. He is about 45 years old, and he was about a 9-year policeman with the city of McAllen. We lost Officer Ismael Chavez. He is about 39 years old. And he was about a 2.5-year officer at McAllen PD. Our suspect in this case, person known as Aldon Caramillo, 23 years of age. These are entirely very difficult moments. The officers came here to maintain peace. Instead, they were taken down by gunfire. The next few days for us, moving forward as well, will be very, very difficult for ourselves at the department, at the city of McAllen. But our strength will get us through. Gather our strength from our police officers. We gather our strength from our colleagues, as you can see here behind us. We gather our strength from our leaders in our city. Mayor Darling happens to be outside of the city, but is on his way back. I cannot tell you how many calls I have taken or missed in the last set of hours, but I can tell you this, the reason I took a few more minutes to get here, I was just taking a call from Governor Abbott himself, expressing his thoughts and prayers for all of us. We are weakened for the moment, but the strength and the resolve that we have to serve our community, all of us here, will allow us to do what we do every day and what our officers do every day. Every day in the face of adversity, whatever the nature of it may be. In these last few years, we've talked about the national narrative, people against police and that kind of. In the face of that adversity, we rise and we serve nonetheless. In the face of a pandemic, officers went to a door today to serve, regardless of the threats to us, to our health, and to our safety, and to our families as well. So we will rise again, and I think we will be stronger for that. Obviously, this is as complete and comprehensive summary of the incident as we know it at this point in time. Any other information that arises, we will be glad to share that with you. But that is in whole the entirety of what we know right now. So I want to thank our colleagues. We stand by each other. Our departments and our officers stand by each other. What long we were standing by Chief Dominguez and his officers. The sheriff's always been there with us. Our state and federal partners are always with us. Our officers, together we're stronger, and that's what I think will help us in the next few days.